Hello everyone, this is Skyfall Blind Dreamer. Today, we are going to conclude the Fundamentals series with the fundamentals of lucid dreaming. Okay everyone, so you've now likely seen my videos on what lucid dreaming is and on the fundamentals of dream recall, both great sources. If you have not seen those already, I would recommend you check those out, as I do have these videos designed to be watched in order as a playlist. This video is where things are going to start branching. Today I'm going to address the basic fundamentals of lucid dreaming, things that you can do, like areas that you can work in that will help you get lucid dreams. After this video, I will be branching into doing some techniques. Also, you guys have likely seen all the live streams I do. I do these lucid dreaming Q&A live streams about once every week or two. I'm going to keep this up. I will be doing live streams every 1 to 2 weeks, depending on my personal schedule, availability, and interest, so please keep an eye out for that as well. Now, on to the fundamentals of lucid dreaming. Now, there are various ones that you can have. There are a couple that I've learned that I'm going to sort of combine into one, because to me, I personally don't really see a difference. But the fundamentals I'm going to discuss are memory, criticality, awareness, and intention. And I include intention even though it's by others considered part of memory, is because I want to separate things like dream recall and remembering dreams like that and working through them with intentions. I actually want to really highlight intention a little bit, because I feel like it deserves to sort of have its own video, and it is. It's actually, intention is going to get its own video, but I just want to highlight a few things here. So let's start. Memory. Okay, what is memory anyway? Well, memory is based off of association. It's how your brain basically acts in terms of storing data and recalling data. And there are different types of memory. You have your short-term or working memory, you have long-term memory. And when I get to intention, we will discuss prospective memory, or task or future memory. Now, in this case, memory works off of association. So you have neurons that are connected to each other. You have particular ideas that are associated with other ideas, memories that are associated with other memories. That is sort of how memory works. Now, for lucid dreaming, the key components of memory that are critical are, of course, dream recall, being able to remember your dreams, which I do have a dream recall fundamentals video out. That is one of the more important things you can do. Also, you're being able to remember things for decent periods in terms of your dreams, going through them, being able to notice when something is sort of odd, but we're going to get into that in a minute. But being able to sort of recall your dreams, notice associations. Memory and schema have a lot in common because they are both association based. In fact, schema works because of how memory works. And then I will be getting into intention later on in the video. Next, I'm going to go into criticality. And I'm doing these sections a little bit shorter than I might normally cover, because I don't always have a ton to say on each topic, but when it comes to criticality, I actually do have quite a bit to say here. Criticality is basically your skill of critical reasoning and critical thinking. Now, you use this in a lot of different ways. If you for example, are doing certain types of math or engineering problems or logic problems, you're going to be trying to think critically on that. Now, when it comes to lucid dreaming with criticality, what we really want is to be critically examining whether or not at any given moment you are dreaming. And this goes with a few different things. Now, if we are going to go back to what we were discussing with memory earlier about dream recall, if you're going through a dream that you've had, picking out dream signs, which are anything out of place or unusual in any way, is an example of criticality. Look for those things that are out of place. Okay, does this make sense? If it doesn't make sense, then am I dreaming? Because that is a sign that you are actually dreaming. And you have recurring dream signs. Those are things that happen often in your dreams that are repetitive and make patterns. And you have just non-recurring dream signs, which are anything at all that's out of place in any way. Another thing with criticality, I recommend a couple of practices for it. The main one I recommend is going through all of your memories since you last thought you woke up. Any gaps in your memory, any time gaps where you don't know where you were for a period of time. Did you do anything that's not part of your normal routine? Go anywhere that you wouldn't normally go. Were you with people that you either don't know or wouldn't normally be with? these are things to look out for. And looking out for something like that, is there anything anomalous, unusual, abnormal, or out of place in any way, shape, or form in your memory or in your current situation? Understanding that you could be dreaming at any time, at any place, in any situation. Dreams are limitless. You could be in any situation at all, and you could be dreaming. So accepting that is a key part of criticality. Understanding you could be dreaming at any time. That, you often may try to reason yourself out of whether, noticing that you're dreaming, but noticing, hey, something is odd. Something here just doesn't feel right, doesn't make sense. That is criticality. One part of criticality that is sometimes not taught the best way it could is reality checks. Now, a reality check is a test that you can perform to attempt to indicate whether or not you're dreaming. The goal is that it would have a pass-fail metric. There would be a certain thing that would work one way in a dream and a different way while awake. An example of this, I'll give two examples of reality checks. There is the nose pinch breathing test, where you hold your nose closed and try to breathe through it. Of course, in dreams, you're not actually closing off your airway, and you can breathe normally. And if you're awake, you cannot. Now, this doesn't always work. Reality checks aren't 100% guarantee, which is why if you do them at all, I would recommend doing at least 3 of different types. The other one I'll reference is the visual test involving looking at text, looking at something that is written, and looking away again and then looking back at it. And the reason that this tends to work for people is that in dreams, there are times where more complex data, more specific and complex things, tend to be less stable in terms of, whether or not they remain the same. So you might look at something, look away, look back, and it changes. The same thing I've noticed with certain sounds. I've had my Alexa device, for example, tell me the time in dreams, and the time just keeps changing. I've been in elevators, and the elevator buttons, the floor numbers change. They aren't consistent or persistent. And I have noticed things like that. So that is sort of what this type of state test is designed for. Now, the key to any reality state test is, of course, the criticality behind it. As I was just saying, being critical of whether or not you're dreaming, actually considering it. If you do reality checks mindlessly on autopilot, then you aren't truly paying attention to what you're trying to do. It is not what you want if you're going to do a reality check. You want to actually be thoughtful, paying attention, be mindful of it, and truly consider that you could be dreaming in any situation. And be thoughtful and careful and deliberate about it. Just sort of take yourself out of whatever you're doing and truly think about whether or not you are dreaming. Moving on to awareness. And this is one that I had trouble understanding for months and months and months, and honestly, I still don't think I understand it the best. Yeah, I can admit my own failings here. Awareness is something I still, have trouble comprehending and understanding completely. But my basic understanding of it is this. You are aware in a couple different ways. There is environmental awareness or sensory awareness. There is situational awareness. There is self-awareness. So environmental or sensory awareness, I'll just call those the same thing. Basically, okay, my left hand right now, my left pointer finger is touching a metal bar under my desk. Another part of it is touching between my fingers. My right thumb is sitting on top. I can feel these sensations. I hear myself talking to you. I can feel myself talking into my microphone. I can feel my feet on the ground below. I can taste the aftertaste of what I've been eating. I can feel all of these things. I am right now aware of all these things. This is me being environmentally aware of everything that I am presently experiencing. So that is sort of environmental awareness. All right, situational awareness. In my view, situational awareness can lend itself really well to criticality. What am I doing right now? I am recording a video for my lucid dreaming channel, Skyfall Blind Dreamer. It is after 2, close to 3 o'clock in the morning. I should be going to bed because I know I'm going to be getting up soon. I'm recording this video using an audio application on my computer, and I am aware of the fact that I'm doing this and of what I'm doing in the present moment. That is how I classify situational awareness. And then self-awareness, that's sort of the harder one to really classify because it's described as being aware of your awareness or knowing that you know you are doing something is sort of how I've done it. And it's a sort of a meta thing. It's really in my view, it's the hardest one to understand. It's the hardest one to actually try to do. I tend to stick more with environmental awareness or situational awareness, or both of those, because those are definable and really easy to understand. Okay, I know what my left hand is doing. I know what tactile sensations I'm experiencing, and I know what I'm doing in this specific moment right now. I'm actively paying attention to those things. Those to me are easier to understand, but self-awareness tends to be sought after because it's sort of this like meta level of being aware of sort of your ability to be aware, sort of your existence and your effect that you have. Also, part of all that is also cause and effect. You know, what actions are you taking? What consequences do your actions have? And in dreams, those are different. Cause and effect in dreams versus waking is different. In dreams, for example, there are no lasting consequences to anything you do. The cause of everything around you is you. There's no external cause in terms of in your dreams to everything that happens. It is all caused by you. Whereas in your wake, external forces tend to play a major role in what you are experiencing. So cause and effect in causality tends to be different. So in concluding the awareness section, you know, it tends to be the hardest thing I think for a lot of people, particularly me, but I know there are a lot of people that, you know, this sometimes be the hardest to understand. So I wanted to break those elements down and at least discuss the ones that I feel more comfortable discussing. And I think I managed to cover that there. So I want to move on to intention, and we're going to loop back to memory here too, because intention is also called prospective memory. Now, what is an intention? Intention is a present decision to perform a future action associated with a trigger. So, you have a decision that you are making now. Okay, I'm going to go to bed after this video. All right, that is a decision. I'm recording this audio for my video. After I'm done, I'm going to bed. Okay, what am I deciding to do? I'm deciding to go to bed. Okay, when am I going to bed? After this video is done. So the trigger in this case is my conclusion of this video. So the goal is to remember when I finish this video to go to bed, which is what I'm going to do. So basically the way this works is through prospective memory, or task or future memory, as you know I tend to call it as well, or working memory. I don't think that's working memory. I think working memory is short term, but honestly I can be confused on a couple of these things, to be honest. But prospective memory is memory of things to do in the future. And it's really interesting because in a temporal sense, you're remembering something that hasn't happened yet. But you're remembering to do something that hasn't happened yet based on a trigger that you are likely to experience. So I know for a fact that the trigger I'm going to experience is me ending this video. I'm going to be finishing it pretty soon, I hope, because it's starting to get a little longer. But when I do, that trigger should associate, because memory, as I said earlier, is based on association. That trigger should associate to the decision I made to go to bed, which means when I end the video, I experience that triggering event. It associates to my decision to go to bed, and I remember my decision, and that helps me remember it, and that's how intentions work. They are a way to remember to do something. And you'll hear more about intention when I go into discussing mild. I have a lot to say on that subject. But that's basically what intention is, and I want to just make sure it's demystified. Setting intentions in prospective memory is part of the human experience. This is something we do all the time. If you have ever decided to do something in the future and then done it, you have set intentions. Do not let the word intention or intention setting confuse you or mystify you. It is nothing new. It has been part of the human experience since the dawn of sentience, basically. Well, that basically concludes my fundamentals video. I would like to thank everyone for sticking around and watching. If you are not subscribed to the Skyfall Blind Dreamer channel and you wish to do so, I would recommend you hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. If you found this content useful, the like button is right down there. Smash it into submission and tell that YouTube algorithm that my content should be promoted to other people. And if you have any questions, I love to answer them. The comments are open. And if you have anything to say, anything to ask of me, you will get a response. As many people as I can respond to, I do. So I would like to thank everyone for watching. In the description, you will find links to the Dream Cafe and Omni Lucid Discord servers. I am on both. I'm more active on Dream Cafe, but I am on both. And That is where I help teach people how to lucid dream. I'm part of these communities, and these communities are dedicated to teaching people lucid dreaming and a place for lucid dreamers to communicate with each other and to assist each other and to learn from each other. So we have the Dream Cafe and Omni Lucid Discords. Also, you can check out other Omni Lucid Network channels in my recommended section on my homepage where I recommend the other channels. Those people are people who I either personally know or I have vetted to know that they have good content. You won't go wrong with listening to lucid dreaming content from those channels. I want to thank you all for watching. This has been Skyfall Blind Dreamer, and have a good day, whoever and wherever you may be.